What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Dscotty, and I'm here to talk about 5 things that I love about this S4. Now, I've had this car for about a year and a half, and I'm just going to give you 5 things that I really like about this car. In case you're wondering about possibly getting an S4, more so the B8.5. Maybe this will help kind of weigh your decision options. But number 1 is the platform for this car. And what I mean by that is this car by itself is phenomenal. I mean, it doesn't need anything. But if you do want to do some things to it, the aftermarket variety is huge. There is so much available for this car. So anywhere from software upgrades to cosmetic upgrades to actual internals and bolt-ons or whatever you want to do, there's just so much variety, and it just gives you so many options to really customize this vehicle how you want it, which I think is important about making a vehicle your own. So number 2 is the steering wheel. I know that might sound a little weird, but I think a good feeling steering wheel and a good looking steering wheel makes all the difference in how the car feels and how you engage with the car. Now, obviously, I have a couple of little cosmetic things going on here, but the flat bottom steering wheel with the red stitching, it just feels so good in your hands, and it just makes the driving experience that much better. It really makes you feel like you've got a good control of the car. Now, there are some things that you can do to kind of adjust how the steering wheel reacts or feels, but for the most part, it's just a good feeling. It's just a good feeling steering wheel, and I thoroughly enjoy having my hands all over it. Now, I think Audi, I'm pretty sure you can get this in a non-flat bottom steering wheel, but I think the flat bottom really just adds a nice look to it and a nice feel to it. I was kind of skeptical at first about how it would feel, but I kind of like it a lot. It's got a nice feel, when you're making turns and it's going through your hands. It just feels like a high quality steering wheel, which it should be coming from Audi. Now, the third thing I really like about this car are the seats. They're really comfortable. You can get them in a few different options. I think Alcantara, black, the red and the black that I have here. And I've seen a few others, but I don't know if that comes from Audi or if people did that themselves, but they're nice, kind of bucket seat like. They really hold you in when you're, getting a little aggressive with it in the turnings and whatnot. They're super comfortable. I think the longest drive I've done in this, it's like 2 hours maybe, and I wasn't sore, my back wasn't irritated or anything like that. The amount of adjustability that these seats have are really nice. I mean, obviously it can go up and down, forwards and backwards, closer to the steering wheel, further away. But you also got that lumbar support, which is really nice. So it's got a little extra leg support, I guess is what you would call it. Under the front seat, you can pull it out a little further or push it in. And also, they're heated. They're not cooled, but they are heated. So that's one thing kind of missing out on, but the heated seats are super nice. They get really warm really quick, and if you have it on if you have it all the way up on full blast, they'll heat up to a certain extent, and then it'll drop down one setting and just maintain that level of warmth, which is really nice because it doesn't become uncomfortable or too hot, and it doesn't make your back sweaty or anything like that. So it's a really nice feature. Audi did a really good job with the seats here, and I'm very impressed, and I haven't had any issues with tearing or anything like that. So I can imagine these seats holding up for a pretty long time. The fourth thing that I really like or love about this car is just the interior overall. I think Audi has one of the best looking interiors that you can get from a car. I had a BMW before, and BMWs is nice as well. I'm not hating on it, but I just like the layout a little bit better that Audi has. So my car's got the carbon fiber in it, which is a really nice touch. I think carbon fiber is just kind of a sporty thing, so it's really nice. I think the other option is the brushed aluminum, which isn't bad either. It's what my BMW had, and I was perfectly fine with it, but I just like that carbon fiber look a little bit more. One of the things I really like is at night, everything glows kind of red. So I think just a kind of a cool feature. All the buttons and everything, they're white during the day, and then at night they just have this subtle glow to them, which really goes well with the interior. I think it's just, you know, it's a nice little touch. The seats for the interior, they just aren't for the front. The red with the black, it continues into the back as well, which I think is really nice. I know that some cars you can do, when they do like a red option leather, it's all red, the whole seat. And depending on what kind of car and how the seats look, I really like that. But sometimes I feel as though it can be a little too much red. So I think kind of throwing in that black or that charcoal with the red stitching just breaks it up, and it's just a nice touch. And the fifth and final thing that I love about this car is the performance. What you can do with these cars, I mean, I know I'm kind of tying into the platform of this car, but there's just so much you can do to get some pretty crazy numbers, especially from everything stock internals, just a couple of software upgrades. I mean, you can get 100 plus horsepower out of it easily. With the performance, there's a couple settings you can do. You can do individual, which you can customize how the throttle response feels, the steering, the suspension. You can go into comfort, you can do automatic, or you can do dynamic. I usually keep mine in individual. I've got it kind of set up to how I like it. But a lot of times I'll just throw it in the sports mode and it automatically goes into that dynamic setting. And then you can also just use the paddle shifters and go in the manual mode too. Also, what's really cool is you get these little farts when it shifts higher up in the RPMs. It doesn't really happen when you're just cruising around, but when you're getting into it, it gives off a little blip or a little fart, which is, in my opinion, pretty cool. I like it. Well, that about wraps it up. I just wanted to give 5 things that I really like about this car. Obviously, I could have said a lot more, but I just tried to pick 5 that really stood out to me. I hope this was helpful to some of you in case you were curious. Let me know in the comments if you have an S4 or an Audi or any car really. What are the 5 things that you like? Or what are some things that you look for when purchasing a car? But like always, I really appreciate you guys watching. Your feedback is always important. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.